A-M-N-T.
A-M-N-T.
A-M-N-T News.
Coming to you with Nicole Stiers.
Good evening, this is Nicole Stiers reporting from the AMNT News Center. We are bringing you breaking news on the massacre that occurred late Saturday night in Guatemala. On May 15, 2011, the Los Zetas Mexican drug cartel arrived at a ranch in northern province of Guatemala, Petén. The police believe it is linked to a fight for control of the area. Others are suspicious that it is linked to the murder of Geraldo Waldemar Leon, the brother of a dead Guatemalan drug boss. 27 people were found dead at the ranch on Sunday. The killings lasted from late Saturday night until Sunday morning. It is reported to be the worst massacre since the Civil War in 1996. President Alvaro Colom declared a state of siege as he called the incident a barbarity. Now on to Angelica Santiago reporting live at the scene in Guatemala.
Thank you, Nicole. Right behind me is the actual scene where the killings took place. As you can see, the authorities have previously removed the bodies. Now on to a clip from one of the members of the Los Zetas.
¿Qué pasa, Guatemalans? This is what happens when you don't listen to us. We're trying to make a statement here. Don't mess with us and nobody will get hurt. And Otto, mi hermano, we're coming for you next. You better have my drugs and my money.
Standing here with me is one of the ranch owners here from Petén. For safety reasons, we have kept his identity concealed. So, how are you doing today?
Fine, but it was really unnecessary how the Mexicans came and they killed all of those people, especially the farm workers.
Did you know any of them personally?
See, I mean, no.
Where were you during this incident?
Hiding. All the shots have scared me. I went to hide behind my farm. And by the way, I don't have the drugs or the money.
Thank you.
So, were there any survivors?
Yes, there were several. As a matter of fact, one of the survivors is in critical condition under military protection. Now listen to this. This man was stabbed and was able to get away by pretending to be dead. Truly a remarkable story of survival.
How are the people of Petén responding to this situation?
Well, the officials are working to assure the people in this area that everything is under control. And at the same time, the residents are working with the officials to find out more information about the men behind the massacre. This is Angelica Santiago reporting for AMNT News. Back to you, Nicole.
We now have Manuela Shishnitha, an analyst of Latin American affairs in D.C. Thank you for joining us today, Manuela.
It's my pleasure to be here.
So, what actions are the government taking in response to the killing?
As you mentioned earlier, the president of Guatemala did declare a state of siege in the country. And many of these massacres are taking place with very little response from the government. And these drug cartels are acting in ways that are actually very much underneath the law.
How does this situation reflect the economic conditions within Guatemala?
Guatemala does continue to maintain its status in the world economy as a periphery country. The significance lies in the fact that this conflict is between Mexico and Guatemala. Mexico is a semi-periphery country. However, both these countries do maintain a very interdependent relationship with each other.
Can you tell us more about the relationships between Mexico and Guatemala?
One example of the relationship between these two countries is the movement of Guatemalans to Mexico. Many of these people moved to Mexico in search of jobs, and some geographers define this as South-South migration. The result of this regional migration is the development of a Guatemalan economy that is dependent on the remittances sent by these migrant workers.
Samuel Logan quoted in reference to Guatemala, "You have the window dressings of a democracy, yet it's a hollow state where basically anything goes." What are your thoughts on this statement?
I think this does catch the essence of the situation in Guatemala. The president and his team are continuing to make attempts to take action on the organized crime that's taking place in the border area between Guatemala and Mexico. However, despite these failing attempts, the cartels continue to act with impunity.
What do you believe is the underlying reason for the recent massacre?
As I mentioned earlier, organized crime has now become an integral part of the situation in Guatemala. Border disputes have been developing in the area where this massacre took place. The province of Petén is an ideal location for many drug cartels like the Los Zetas. This area lacks much police protection. This allows cartels to take control of an area where the majority of residents are poor workers, very much like a disadvantaged sector in a Latin American city. Because drug trafficking is a part of the informal economy, many Guatemalans are enticed into this activity because of its profitability.
Thank you for your time, Manuela.
It's my pleasure.
When we return, a story on Justin Bieber and his new movie.
AMNT.
AMNT.
AMNT News.
Coming to you with Nicole Stiers.
AMNT.
AMNT.
AMNT News.
Coming to you with Nicole Stiers.
On the massacre that occurred. Geraldo Waldemar Leon. Why is his name so difficult?
That was supposed to.
Thank you for your time. How does this Mexican drug cartel arrived at a ranch in Angelica?
I'm gonna get out of this shot.
On May 15, 2011, the Los Santos Manuela came out of nowhere. We are bringing you breaking news on the massacre that occurred late Saturday night in Guatemala. You zoomed in.
I know.
Status as a country.
That was so good.
People move to Guatemala in search of... they don't move to Guatemala.
As you can see, the authorities have previously removed the bodies.
This is our territory.
Keep out of
Trying to make a statement here. Dang it!